Today, we're going to talk about why you suck at moguls and what you need to do differently so you can get better. In this video, we're going to show you what you're doing wrong in the moguls. We're going to be talking about how to increase your range and the timing of your absorption in the moguls. And we're going to use Carv to look at some data to show you what some of the best mogul skiers in the world are doing so that you can bring those things into your own mogul skiing. Hi, I'm Demelza Clay. I'm a coach with Big Picture Skiing and instructor based here in SilverStar Ski Resort in BC, Canada. Being able to ski moguls is really what separates good skiers from great skiers. Many skiers out there deliberately try to avoid the bumps. Maybe they've had a bad fall or an injury, or a lot of people out there feel like they don't have the athleticism to ski moguls, but that's actually not the case. Skiing moguls is so much fun, and learning to ski moguls will teach you skills that will translate over to all your other advanced turns so you can ski the whole mountain. And if you want to prove to your friends that you're a great skier, you need to be able to ski moguls. The most important word in mogul skiing is absorption. We want to use our legs to absorb the bumps rather than ski around them. Most people think they're absorbing, but they're not. A lot of skiers who have had some coaching around mogul skiers, they get the concept. They understand absorption. They see it happening in their car. We understand shock absorbers, but they're not doing it. Because the mind's eye plays tricks on you. You feel all this pressure building up under your feet as you start to make your turns down the moguls, but we tend to go into mogul runs and get very, very stiff-legged. Also, a lot of skiers feel they need to focus on moving their feet really fast through the mogul zigzag lines they see, similar to how they see World Cup mogul skiers skiing, but really they're focusing on the wrong thing. The most important thing they need to do is absorb the moguls. But don't take it from me. I caught up with someone who knows a thing or two about skiing moguls.
My name is Nick Page. I'm a member of the U.S. freestyle ski team. Finished last season ranked 5th in the world in freestyle moguls, and I'm currently in the middle of a season working to world championships at the end of this year. I'd say your average skier is absorbing not enough. And with that, I'd say they're starting their absorption with their feet out in front of them, kind of pushing away towards the mogul, and then they're trying to do it all up in front.
Now, Nick is obviously at a completely different level to your average skier. In a race, he hits 4 to 5 moguls per second, so his feet move at an extraordinary speed, but it's all underpinned by absorption.
Absorption timing has been a big topic of focus, like maybe over the last 8 months or so for me. And in that, like when you're younger and you're skiing slower, you have more time to be able to absorb. And even though you're moving slower, sometimes that absorption has to be a lot deeper. At the range and the speeds that I'm skiing at now, that absorption has to be way snappier. So I still have to get the full absorption so I'm on the backside of the mogul and still in proper position, but it's happening so lightning fast that I really have to be on top of things.
So whether you're competing professionally or just starting out in bumps, absorption is key. Aside from learning to absorb, the thing that's actually going on with mogul skiing is that we're using the opposite mechanics to practically every turn that the intermediate skier has ever made their whole ski career. When we're skiing moguls with absorption, we initiate our turns with retraction and complete our turns with extension. For your brain to organize itself to start making turns with opposite mechanics, just like that in a heartbeat, is really difficult, which is why we need a really focused strategy to help you learn the opposite mechanics so that you can start skiing moguls with success. This strategy has been designed to help you slowly work your brain into executing these opposite mechanics in moguls. So that might sound quite complicated, and I get it. So let's use the data from Carv so you can understand some of these differences and bring it into your own skiing. What I'm going to show you here is called an average turn graph. On the x-axis, we have time through the turn, from the beginning, the middle to the end. And on the y-axis, we have acceleration as experienced by your feet. When your line is below 1, it means that your feet are in negative acceleration, which means they're practically weightless or in free fall. When your line is above the 1, it means your feet are accelerating and in effect moving up towards your body. First, let's look at the acceleration graph of an intermediate bump skier. For intermediate mogul skiers, their line tends to hover around the 1, which means their feet aren't experiencing any negative or positive acceleration, which means there's no absorption and their turns are quite static. If we compare this to an expert bump skier, and this one here is my chart, you can immediately see the difference. At the end of a turn, we can see this spike in acceleration here. This is where I actively pull my feet up towards my body, helping me to absorb the new mogul as I end my turn and come into transition. If I do this right, then my feet will experience this moment of weightlessness or negative acceleration here, just after the transition as they move over and down the backside of a bump. But if you compare this to a world-class mogul skier, you can see here in Nick's chart that line shows an even greater range of weightlessness and absorption through the transition.
Really cool to see this data like visualized in a way where you see exactly what's happening, especially with that absorption, because that's been such a big key of what myself and my coaches have been talking about lately. So it's cool to see that visualized in a way where you could get a number against it to know what's going on.
What I love about Carv is that it's now presenting this data to you in a metric called transition weight release. So we're going to spend some time giving you some tips and drills so that you can improve your transition weight release so you can then absorb moguls better and ski the whole mountain a lot more confidently. So the first drill that we're going to start with is called a single bump extension. We're going to start in a stationary position on top of the bump, getting as low as possible. And we do this because getting into this low absorbed position on top of the mogul is really, really tough for beginner mogul skiers to do. So we're going to start right here. Flex nice and evenly in your ankle, knee and hip joint. You're going to make a single turn down the backside of the mogul and extend your legs away from your body at the rate at which the ground drops away from your ski edges. So here we go. Down into full extension. When you're extending your legs down the backside of the bump, you should feel solid snow contact and friction under your edges as you push that snow down the backside of the bump. This is one of the things that's going to help you control your speed in the moguls. The next drill we're going to try is called a retraction extension pivot slip. And it's going to help you have some practice at linking turns through using those opposite mechanics that I mentioned earlier. Retraction to initiate and extension to complete. And the drill looks like this. People generally don't retract as much as they think they do. So I want you to really exaggerate this movement and get down as deep as you can to feel your whole range of motion from your hips all the way down to your ankles. So now that you've learned the single bump extension, you've done a lot of practice on each leg. We've done the retraction extension pivot slip. Now it's time to bring it all together to do a drill that I call ultra low and slow mogul skiing. So whenever we begin skiing, from now on, you're always going to begin in this really low position that we practiced in the single bump extension, because now you've got some length coiled up in your leg so that when you push yourself down the backside of the bump, I can extend and slow myself down. Now I want to turn on this one, nice and low. Now I'm going to choose this one over here. Be as picky as you want. You don't have to make the next turn straight away. You just want to try and get as low as possible. And then maybe as your confidence increases, then you can try and decrease the amount of traversing that you do between each mogul. And that's it. Ultra slow and low mogul skiing. So to dial this in, a few really focused runs, practicing these exercises I've just shared with you, will go a long way to helping you learn these opposite mechanics that we discussed earlier. If you're a Carv user, check your transition weight release scores to see if these exercises are helping you improve your absorption in the bumps. What I'm going to do now is set Carv to live feedback through my headphones as I'm skiing. Transition weight release. I'm setting it to transition weight release, so I'll get that metric read out to me. Here we go. My goal here is to see if I can get between 98 and 100% for that score.
88, 84, 94, 98, 100, 90, 96, 94, 100, 92, 88, 94.
Oh! That was really fun because I had instant feedback after every single turn telling me if that was a low transition weight release score or a high one. And when I did get a high score, immediately I could remember the movement I made or the feeling I had when I did that turn, and then I can go ahead and replicate it a lot easier. Mogul skiing can be slightly counterintuitive when you're first starting out. But with a little bit of practice, you'll be very surprised how quickly you can improve. Once you can confidently ski moguls, you'll be able to enjoy all the terrain on the mountain. And what you'll find is this absorption move is not only required in mogul skiing. When you're making pure carved long turns, you'll need to use an absorption move to absorb the energy from the ski through the transition. When you're skiing powder, you'll notice that the skis are bouncing through the soft snow, and in between your turns, you need to also retract your legs up underneath you, get your skis feeling nice and light through the transition as well. And if you like skiing the steeps and skiing through narrow chutes where you need to make jump turns from side to side, being able to absorb and lift your legs up underneath you makes that jump turn a lot easier and safer in those terrain conditions. Basically, improving your absorption, or if you're a Carv user, improving your transition weight release score is going to help you enjoy and ski much more terrain in a better way all over the mountain and have a lot more fun while you're doing it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I hope to see you out on the mountain very soon.